Hello everybody and welcome to the Grand Campaign. Yahoo! That was cringe. We have finally arrived, episode 1, not episode 0 where I talked about the current situation of the world. Now we actually get to play the Grand Campaign. And yeah, I don't really have an intro except for a couple of things. I don't know how to do this properly. I guess that's how I'm just gonna say it. Here's the thing, the game settings, let me tweak them real quick. And then I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the this is the game settings that I have. We have 8 on the expansions. We put split very low, but the small split a little bit higher. The union is going to be on the same level. New nation card is going to stay the same, and all of the new leaders and build forts is going to stay the same. Found religion is going to be down 1, because in my opinion there should be like the spread of the current existing religions instead of new religions, because that would just be more entertaining to watch. And I guess the conflicts I'll keep. I don't know what disaster is, that's a new thing, and I also don't know what tribe is. The draw power I'm gonna put really weak, as this world map is massive, so I don't want, you know, in one turn a Western European being able to conquer all of Europe, right? That would be pretty awkward, because I want to keep it a little bit more realistic in this campaign. And then we got the age intensity, age length, fort range, fort strength, and then the disaster that I don't know what that even is. So anyway, there we go. And then also one question for you guys: how should I tackle this? Should I just go with the randomized buttons and, you know, then click on the nation and play them, or should I do this a little bit more methodically? Maybe one episode is going to be focused more on Europe, one episode more on America, or should I make it like we go from left to right? So basically I click on Nassau as they are the left furthest, then Havana, and then we go over, you know, here to, I guess, Edinburgh, since they are the furthest on the left, and then, you know, we move our way over here. Just tell me in the comments. This episode is going to be a randomized button, but tell me in the comments how you want to see this, because feedback is required for this one, because I've never done this before. Anyway, without any further ado, let us jump in, shall we? So let us click randomize button. Shizuoka, we're starting off strong. The Shizuokan people were in the alliance with Tokyo, as they get a new nation card. Alright, thanks to you guys in episode 0, I got some feedback. I'm going to be creating a couple of these nations, and then I also have to change some nation names. So I'll be right back. First, let us make the new nation though. Alright, the first nation for our grand campaign will be the nation of Bukhara in modern day Uzbekistan. They are give or take over here. The great map is pretty confusing for me. So correct me if I'm wrong, especially with the country capital placements. But as they are over here, they will basically just be going all around the rivers, as that is the most fertile land to be at right now over here. And they will, I guess, grab all of this, and then I'll probably stop, as I realized they have way too much draw power, and they would already be like one of the great powers if I did this. So there we go. They are they are tribal members that are now modernized enough for the world map, you know, to see. And they are right now isolated. No one knows of their existence. And I guess that's all they have to themselves right now. So let us place down the capital, which I think is like over here, I think. Please correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, because that's always appreciated. And let me just, you know, change the game settings real quick, because the draw power is way too much. I guess let's split that in half right now. There we go. Alright, so talking about them being isolated, Europe, the entire continent of Europe, they know they exist with each other, and they also know that Anatolia exists and Egypt exists, plus Latakla, and maybe all the way up to Ar-Raqqa and to Trabzon. The rest of this, they will learn about their existence in the next upcoming decades or century, right? Just like over here, the East Asians, they know that all of East Asia exists, and all of the Indonesia nations exist, and they know about around half of India. Or maybe all of India. I feel like they know that Mohenjo-daro exists, but they can't really, you know, talk about it. Like, they know it exists, but they don't know exactly where. They just know it's far in the west. So basically, you know, just think about it like the start of EU4, EU5, where, you know, the whole world isn't like known to mankind. That's basically what this is. Speaking of Mohenjo-daro, big ol' shout out to, I think it was Oliver, who told me that it was supposed to be called the Indus Valley. So let me just change that. He also told me that Ye could be called a pretty cool name. Hold on, let me just copy paste that one, because there's no in hell I'm writing that one. It's too confusing for me. The Thuwanabumi Empire, which I really like. It has like a flavor to it, right? It is an empire. It is a trading behemoth over in East Asia. We also have Naze, who can be called the Kachin Empire. So let us call it that. I wouldn't really call it an empire, maybe more like a kingdom. So let us rename that to a kingdom. And remember, guys, if you have any nations that you can see that should have like an empire name or a, you know, actual like regional name, tell me that in the comments. Like Amsterdam could be called the Dutch Empire because, you know, it basically owns all of the modern day Netherlands and then some. Edinburgh owns all of modern day Scotland and then some, so we could call this the Scottish Empire, you know, etc, etc. So tell me in the comments below if there's any nation you see that should be called an empire. My rule basically is just as long as it has the region, you call it the regional name or the country name, and if it has more stuff outside of the region, you call it an empire. So there we go, and I know that Kaching will probably be an empire because it owns more outside of, you know, the stuff. But I'm calling it a kingdom, as in my opinion, they shouldn't really be like called an empire just yet because they're in a conflict right now. So anyway, all right, let us go back to our actual place, right? There was a lot of yapping for one turn. I just had to tell you guys more important stuff. Anyway, because Bukhara is a new nation, we will be selecting them and they will be getting a small split. Already. This is gonna be an interesting campaign, if I do say so myself. The nation that will be breaking off is the nation of Karshi. I hope I pronounced that properly. They are in the southeast of Bukhara. I think Bukhara is actually over here, the capital. But you gotta tell me that in the comments. I'm not 100% sure. And we will just be grabbing all of this land over here as that is breaking off. These were tribal members that got conquered by Bukhara after they before they turned into a modern like nation, and right now they are fighting for their independence, which they managed to do, and now they are also modernized people, well, you know, for the world map to see. And yeah, they will be having their own capital. I'm gonna be placing the capital on here. I hope that's around, give or take, correct. And let us click on randomize nation and find out who the next one will be. The next nation will be the dual monarchy of Itea Florina, as they get a small expansion card. With this small expansion, they will decide to go into the unclaimed lands in Europe and maybe get all of it, just barely, not all of it, but I guess the rest over here will just go to Londek or Prague. This will obviously give them more power base in Eastern Europe, in the Balkans, as they are one of the major powers over here, rivaling Istanbul. As we randomize nation, we go to Bahir Dar, the isolationist flatlanders, in a terrible position for flatlander stuff, as they get a large expansion. Now they might be flatlanders, but their capital is over here, and they want to have more control over that, as well as, you know, threaten Gondar's capital even more, so they decide to obviously migrate into more favorable terrain for that, and then they will use the rest to expand it to the actual flatland region over here. Pushing over to the other side where there's another river. I don't know, I think it's the same river, right? Like there's a blue Nile and a white Nile or something like that. Basically, they're just thickening out their borders with Egypt, and then obviously they'll get more control over their actual important stuff right now. There we go. Not bad, not bad. By the way, guys, just so you know, this one's gonna be a rather short one. I don't know how much time I have today, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, as we click on randomized nation, we have Gory. Gory, Gory, Gory. Nice. Alright, with that small expansion, they're just gonna keep on filling out all of this nice and flat land, grassland, fertile, good stuff land over here. This is like a really nice place to live in, but also terrifying as you're surrounded by way stronger powers over here. But they will then also thicken themselves out against St. Petersburg, as they have kind of nowhere to go, and Riga is kind of threatening the three of them over here, as they have laid claim to the remaining stuff over here. So how will that work out? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Narva gets to there first, and that'll spark a little rivalry. We'll have to wait and see. Next up, we're on Bandar Abbas. Nice, they get a large expansion. Bandar and Doha have a rivalry with each other right now, but Bandar Abbas is currently not seeking a war against them. They're instead trying to seek out the remaining coastline, as they want to make sure that Doha does not get more, like, front lines against Bandar Abbas. So as they do that, they discover the Indus Valley. Bandar Abbas gets a lot of prestige, a lot of fame, a lot of money through this new trade route, through the discovery of Mohenjo-Daro / the Indus Valley and Vadodara. They will get stinky, filthy rich off of the trade, as, you know, Pakistan and India have a lot of good resources that all of the people over here in the Middle East will want to consume badly. And, Bandar Abbas and the Indus Valley right now will be having neutral towards favorable relations, as, you know, they're both getting pretty powerful and rich off of, you know, them talking to each other and trading and diplomacy and all that stuff. With the remaining turn, they will kind of just thicken themselves out around their capital, as they have nothing too, like, important to go for. They will, however, go over here and make sure that Shiraz will not border Doha, as Bandar Abbas wants to keep Shiraz in their sphere of influence, right? And Bandar Abbas's sphere of influence is basically all of, like, the Iran, like modern day Iran border, like right now, like Mashhad, Kuchang, Tehran, Tabriz, Shiraz. And Abadan is kind of split in between Doha and Bandar. They will use the remaining turn to go into the deserty. I didn't know this was deserty, but into the deserty lands over here, thickening their border with Tabriz a bit. Helps them, you know, trade and stuff like that. And then they will end their turn. And now, as you can see, they are looking massive on the world map. I mean, obviously, if you zoom out, like, you can barely, like, actually, like, notice it. But, like, you gotta think about it on a regional scale. They are, like, one of the largest nations in the Middle East right now. So, they are definitely one of the great powers in the Middle East, rivaled by Alexandria, Istanbul, and which one was it again? I think Anamur. Yeah, Anamur. And I think Karamanmaras as well. Something magical before we end this turn. I know you guys, you're a little greedy. You want to see more. I know. But let me flavor out this region even more. Before we end the turn, Bandar Abbas goes over to the Indus Valley. And the Indus Valley, surprisingly, was completely ready for them. They were actually about to walk out of the front door and go into their door, as they both hold a piece of paper. And that paper is this. The Indus Trade Agreement, the Bandar Indus Trade Agreement. Both of them already knew that the other person wanted to make a trade agreement, and so they both were basically just waiting for the other one to arrive. With this trade agreement, they will gain favorable trade, you know, privileges in each other, and basically strengthening their economy together. That means that the both of them will get stinking rich through trade, through everything over here, and that will also boost their like friendship, which might in the future turn this trade agreement into an alliance even. So we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, on to the next turn. I know you boys have been just scratching at the neck, needing more turns. I know, I'm sorry. I should I should click faster. I know. Yeah, that is Tehran. So we're staying in Iran or the Persian region, whichever way you want to say that. And they will be getting a medium expansion. If I remember properly, Bandar Ansali and Tehran aren't really that friendly with each other, but they're like tolerant of each other. So because of that, Tehran will mostly just focus in on the south, trying to gain strength so that Ansali will never think about any like evil thing to do against Tehran ever. Also, what is great about this turn is Tehran now officially links up with Bandar Abbas. This will, well, make the trade for Abbas even better. Yep, that's right. It's gonna make it even better for them, as now they don't have to trade through the water into Abadan and then here and then up and then over to get to Tehran. They can now direct... Someone was coughing in the background. I think I'm getting robbed. But now Tehran can just basically get trade immediately without having to go through like such an expensive route, which is just great for the both of them. So that is why they are thickening out the borders with each other and then using the remaining stuff in the east. Nothing else happens in this turn as Tehran doesn't really want to join the trade agreement. They're just happy that they don't have to pay a lot more than what they had to like usually. But with this, we go on to Bohemia, Hungary. The goats, one of my favorite nations, Bohemia Hungarian Empire, as we select a new leader. Welp, that sucks. But they get Hani, who is a divisive Tundra Walker, so we'll have to wait and see how that works out for them. As we click on randomized nation, we go to Ramadi. Ramadi is currently in the Ramadi-Tikrit trade wars. And we'll have to wait and see what happens in this turn. A new tribe. A new tribe. What is that? I'm gonna have to find this out. Okay. So, I'll be right back. Added tribes, which are nomadic nations that can migrate. You can spawn in a tribe with the new tribe card, and when you draw an expand card, it will have a chance to either be a regular expand or a migration, which has the player erase part of the selected tribe territory and then redrawing it in another location. Currently, migrations are more common than expands for tribes, but I may adjust that later. As always, let me know if anyone encounters any major bugs with the newer feature. Smiley face. No, I don't know. Should we have tribal nations? All right. Instead of them being tribes, instead of them being kingdoms, they will be hordes. Like in EU4, a hordic nation is like the Golden Horde, right? People that, you know, to survive, they have to conquer and raise land. So in my opinion, that's what the tribes will be. You know, they're just a group of nomadic people who are walking around and living off of the land. So let us make our very first tribal nation in forever. I'm gonna place that down in a location where I myself want to put it down. Oh my god, I have the perfect nation. Oh my god. Oh yeah, dude, I love this so much. Hold on. Since they are like, you know, conquerors, you know what I'm gonna do, right? You know what I'm gonna do. Oh, this is gonna be hard to find out where it actually is though. The nation that we will be putting in is the nation of Ulaanbaatar, aka Mongolia. I think you know where I'm going with this one. They're going to be, well, I hope that they will get lucky enough to become the Mongol Empire, you know, one of the second largest empire or third largest empire in history. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that one. But anyway, they will be a horde, not a modern kingdom. And they will just spread themselves out all around here as they get, as this like expansion is really strong. Do tribes have buffs? You gotta tell me in the comments, because I didn't really see that in the patch notes. But anyway, they will reach all the way up to this lake, which is called the Lake Baikal. Thank you, Google Maps. And they will also spread themselves all out around here, as this is a great source of fish. Fish is tasty. I'm eating fish today, so haha, I'm gonna eat good tonight. So now let us place down the capital. Oh wait, is the capital down here more? I think so. Yeah, okay. So the capital is give or take. I'm gonna place it here. Please tell me in the comments if it needs to be more north, more south, more west, east, etc. And as they are a new nation, the leader is Saddam Hussein. He is a tolerant flatlander, and he will be drawing a large migration card. How does this work? I'm about to find out. So they're gonna grab some of their lands from the north away. Yes, they don't really like that region. They also don't like the mountainous terrain down here. And okay, I guess the rest of the north. I have no idea how to like yap about this, by the way. Oh, okay, and now we get a migration. Okay, so instead they will obviously be migrating more into their capital region for, well, easier access to all of their kingdoms. They will go back up here as the fishies were pretty tasty, but they won't go all the way up to where they used to be. And they will start to cross the river over here into this little, like, region that I have no idea what it's called in the real world. As well as they go further down into the south, as down there it is a little bit warmer than up over here, or at least I think so. Is Mongolia warm or cold? You gotta have to tell me that in the comments. And they're also going more westwards as they follow this river into the unknown. And now they look a lot more blocky, but also a lot more menacing, in my opinion. And not gonna lie, if we look at it like this, they are like really massive. Like they are like rivaling Olga and like St. Petersburg in terms of mass. It is insane. Alright, as we click on randomized nation, we go to Singkawang. The expansionist Tundra Walkers, as they get a found religion card. They already have one. Oh, ya caramba. The religion will be called Singism, as they have Kuchingism. This is an offshoot of Kuchingism, but for the Singkawang people. And I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what will happen with that. So yeah, we're on Tokyo, the Conqueror Tungle Explorer. Are we dead ass? The Conqueror Chungle Explorer, as they draw a new leader card, who is now Topar, who is the divisive mountaineer. So not a lot of action is happening right now. I might have to tweak some of these settings. I might have to, but you'll have to tell me in the comments. So yeah. Alright, on to Nantes, the isolationist forest dwellers, as they get a small split. That's interesting. I'm not sure if Paris split off of Nantes or Caen. I think it was Caen. So I guess the central France region has become rather unstable after the Black Death, even after them trying to recover from it. The nation that will be splitting off is the Nation of Orleans. They are underneath Paris over here, and they kind of watched as Paris broke off of Caen or Nantes, and they were flabbergasted that that was possible, as they themselves weren't very happy to live under Nantes' rule, and thanks to Paris doing that successfully, they also had enough courage to break off, and they are doing it right now, and they're going at it pretty well. They're actually getting foreign aid from Paris, as Paris knows that, you know, if they don't have any alliances here, where everyone is kind of, you know, at each other's throats, they might just, you know, get re-annexed. So they are currently helping them in their independence movement, which goes successfully, and now they have managed to get a peace from Nantes, which means they're allowed to be an independent nation. Let us place down the capital, which is on the river, but I'm putting it a little further away, because then if we put it on the river, that it will be a massive like block of text, and I wouldn't be able to read that myself. But that's not the only thing that will be happening this turn, as some interesting stuff is about to happen. It is the birth of the Paris-Orleans Alliance. I already hinted at it. It is, well, an alliance so that both of them will not get conquered by any of the other great powers around them, as if they were alone, they would just get re-annexed, like I just told you guys. And if they stick together, maybe they won't get attacked, but we'll have to wait and see. Why did my mouth just do a pop sound? That was awkward. Anyway, I think this is gonna be our final turn. I don't know, maybe 6 more turns. We'll have to wait and see, because I don't have a lot of time. So let us click on randomized nation. Istanbul. Let's go. Okay, Istanbul is the Uniter Forest Dwellers. As you can see, they're currently in their Istanbul Gelibolu war that has been spanning a long ass time. Basically, Istanbul is trying to become the major power over here, just like Florina. So let's see what they get, and it is a medium expansion. With this expansion, they hard focus in on the southern region, as that is where the defense is lacking. Gelibolu's actual defense is, in the Gelibolu region. And so they managed to successfully push them all the way back over to actual, Gelibolu. Over here, they're going to be kind of struggling, but they will, in the end, be able to conquer it at a hefty price of manpower. After that, they kind of just give up, and in the peace treaty, as in the peace treaty, because they lost the war basically. I know they could probably hold out with their navy, but Istanbul has already been working on strengthening their navy, and it is now rivaling that of Gelibolu. So they are already piecing out, and in that peace treaty, they demand a full annexation of Gelibolu. Our very first nation of our grand campaign has been conquered. F in the chat. F in the chat, bro. So sit, I cry hard. In this, of course, Gelibolu will be remaining a city, but they will be demoted down to an important city, not a capital city. This also means that the Istanbul-Gelibolu war is no longer happening. As well, Gelibolu doesn't exist anymore. Silly. The remaining turn they will use to go into modern-day Moldavia, that they used to own before the Black Death showed up and forced them to leave. And after that, they use the remaining stuff in the unclaimed territories over here, trying to get bigger and stronger. So, like I just talked about it, Gelibolu, we'll have to delete that and place down a different city. Okay, fine, this is fine. Boom. They are now a major city in the Istanbul Kingdom. Well, empire, kind of, but not really, since they don't own an actual territory unless you tell me, and then I'll, change the name. Let us do one more turn, because that really hyped me up. I really like that. We got one of the major events that from our, Middle Eastern campaign out of the way now. We finally got to see a conclusion to the war. So with that, let us go up to our final nation, and that is the nation of Kavala, as they get an age of conflict. The Istanbul-Gelibolu war sent shockwaves throughout the Middle East and the Balkan areas of Europe. Everybody has started to increase their military presence, beef up their levies. And because of that, like, imagine Kavala beefing up their military. Florina is gonna get scared, so they're gonna beef up their military. Now Venice is getting scared, Budapest is getting scared, they're gonna beef up their military. Now Amsterdam is getting scared. It is a chain reaction that Istanbul has started. The same is happening in the Middle East. It is sending shockwaves throughout the world right now. And about everybody has increased their levy sizes because someone that they border has also increased their levy size. How will this affect the next century or decade? We will have to wait and see until the next episode of the Grand Campaign. If you guys liked it, you can like it. If you disliked it, you can dislike it. If you want to subscribe, you can, but you don't have to. And I hope you all have a good day or night. See you in the Age of Conflict next week. Bye, everyone.